there, and now, okay, right. Checking live stream again, so reestablishing. Right, so just reestablishing my live stream once again. Sorry for a bit of the hold up right there from the previous stream. I just tried to trace back the phone call that I received just during my previous live stream. Yeah, so just continuing on to what I was just previously doing. So what I was previously doing here was just gonna close them and just show the various layers. So as I've done in the previous live stream, I've just done a merge. So this is the original photo, and I've taken various photos of myself in different positions, doing different things, and just start merging them all together into one image. So this is what I'm doing. So this is how it looks at the moment with everything. But what I'm going to do is carefully start erasing various parts individually, just so it all matches with the original background, which I have just in here. So if I'll see if I can do that. So yeah, so that way all the lightings and all the tones are exactly as the original background, besides the and just including all the other versions of myself. So all right, so now that I've done that, I'm going to start looking into this image here, and just without erasing myself right sitting on the chair here, I'm actually going to erase everything around him, as it is going to be the same image. It's just I just want just myself in this image here, and then I'll have the other one, the workout one here, the passed out one here, the cleaning one here, and of course the gaming one right here. So what I'm going to do is go back into, see if I got it right. So I should be in this one here. Just double check. No, that's not it. So I'm just going to drop back one. Should be on that one actually. So so I just need to go back into the opacity and bring it back to 100%, and just want to check. There we go. Awesome. So now what I'm going to do is just expand the size significantly. Yeah, that should do fine. Go. Yep. And I'm just going to just bring that back one, so I can carefully start at the top here. If you guys can just notice the slight change in lighting as I'm just removing all of that. So that way it just sticks to the original background rather than any other image. And for those interested on what system I was using my Olympus OMD EM5 Mark II with the Samyang 7.5mm f3.5 fisheye to get this entire, just to get the entire scene here. Yeah, so right now it is almost 6 o'clock, so 5:45, if I recall. Yeah, it was very strange with the because the phone call I was anticipating it to be for work and income, in regards of some payments and stuff, but instead it wasn't them. So it's very interesting because I don't know exactly who tried to call me earlier. Hopefully they might call me again, whoever it is, they might call me again tomorrow, but at this stage I'm just not too sure, but just in case, just being careful. And as well as that, just carefully go around my head. Okay, I just want to check on comments. So I know Sam was just viewing my previous live stream before I had to end it. So I just want to check as well. What? There we go. So I got one person currently viewing my live stream once again. So that's okay. Now what I'm going to do is, since I have that one there set up, I'm going to hide that one and bring out my workout self. Now I want to just carefully double checking as well. So now I just want to get just myself here as like the next subject. So I'm going to be erasing everything above and everything around. I think this is a better decision just doing it individually. So just removing some of the unnecessary crap and then just including what I want in the image just to stack it all together. And just as I mentioned in the previous live stream, for those who do not know, I used to have scoliosis, which is why my right shoulder blade and rib cage are sticking out like that. So I've had a spinal transfusion on my back. So I'm practically like Wolverine now. So I've got nice titanium rod in my back, designed to just keep my back nice and aligned. So it's really interesting stuff. So it's very, very interesting kind of topic. I might actually erase. I'm just going to undo that because I'm more than happy with that kind of set. Just thinking, just trying to get more into the details. It's always tricky as well because you have to try and figure out where it all comes in, and you can just see it down here as well with the as what's showing and what isn't. So it looks like I got a little spot right here. So I'm just going to try and sweep around just to find out where. There it is. There we go. And then I got like a little spot up here somewhere. Being a bit of a perfectionist now, so I'm just trying to. There we are. So you can just see it in the image there as well. Just what I'm trying to do is make it nice and clean. So if I were to remove that one and then show that one, it looks like I've still got a little bit of a spot in here somewhere. So I'm just going to do a nice gentle patch around. And then I've got a little spot over there. So I'm going to open up that one and just clean that one off. So still, that part there is going to annoy me. So I'm going to see if I can gently remove it. So without it showing too much. There we go. And then there we go. I guess that way those are nicely more presentable. So now I'll show you what the idea is thus far. So I've got different versions of me, just one working out, one reading, one playing Xbox. And then the next one I'm just going to be fixing up is one of me fully passed out from drinking. Because what else would you expect in what else would you expect when if you've been in quarantine for several weeks anyways? You just want to be a drunken man, be a drunken bastard. I'm just gonna fully expand there and just go. You can just see it in here as well. All the black is just where I've been erasing. So I'm gonna go do that, which is significantly simple, especially with what I'm doing. So because I'm only needing just where I'm positioned without accidentally erasing parts of myself. It's usually the tricky part. As well as another thing that makes this a bit tricky is the also showing where my shadows are as well, because if I were to include that one, you can see you can actually see where my shadows are in the image as well as in this one, so it just shows more detail. And then there's the one with me just hoovering around. So what I'm going to do is just going to remove that one and just want to carefully bring things down a few steps. I just want to check on views. Oh yeah. Thanks. Thanks, Joe. How have you been? Joe? Are you glad that we are back in level 2 of quarantine, or at least slowly coming back into the economy? So just thought I'd ask. So yeah, but how have you been, Joe? So been a while since we last caught up. Yeah, but it's very fun just live streaming these videos just to show what I'm doing. Yeah, you can just see it in here as well, just how much of an effect that does, like the shadows. So I might just readjust it to that again, because I'm more than happy with that shadow overall than anything. Now I'm gonna just remove that version and reintroduce the vacuum cleaning one. So as you can see in the image, I've actually got, looks like I've pretty much got all of it covered as well. So I just want to go into more detail and just remove bits of it. So, but I'm going to go and erase that one. And now if I were to add them all in, and hopefully, crap. Hopefully, that's what I was hoping, but it looks like I still need to fix up this one here, because the drunk me the image of the drunk me is still affecting just where my foot is. So I'm gonna go ahead and select. So I'm gonna remove you and remove that one. So that way it's just me and the. So that way it's just the drunk one and the other one. So because you can see it there as well, which not exactly what I'm looking at. So I'm gonna, or at least what I'm intending. So I'm gonna zoom in, and then this part here is slightly triggering for me because the whole looking at the detail there is just like, why? Okay, pretty. Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely, Joe. Like, it's been crazy just staying at home for the past what 7 weeks or 7 weeks now or something. So, but at least it's not like at least with New Zealand, we've been able to manage with just with the outcomes and stuff, which is really good. So, which is really handy, because if we just carried on much like the United States and stuff, anyway, we would practically be screwed up anyway. So, but even over here, we're still, I guess, in some ways, we're still just trying to figure it out as we go along, because, well, obviously we don't know how long this pandemic is going to last globally, and potentially it may cause more effect anyway outside. So, we'll never know. So this is where I get. Now I'm just going to be a bit more into the details and just carefully trimming off just where you start seeing the blue from my t-shirt here. So this is where I just personally prefer to break things down into tinier detail, and then gently brushing it. So it really shows, gets rid of all the outlines and unnecessary parts, and then just keeping the bits I really want just for the image. It's always challenging with hair as well, because hair is always going to be out and about, and that's something I've learned from editing. So I'm just gently going to go around. Yeah, I'm definitely hoping, since we're now on level 2, I'm going to be contacting a lot of the local restaurants and bars that are offering musicians some of those music, uh, just some of those music gigs going on, because since I've been live streaming as well, just live streaming here on Facebook, I would like to start introducing live streaming into my services, so which I think would be very useful, especially for um, today's standards, because even as the government and stuff have been saying, once we get back into, well, once it's all over, we're not going to be going back to the same lives as we were previously, but at least for some of us, or at least for most of us, hopefully, we'll be able to rearrange and just simply adapt into the new circumstances. And that's generally what I'm doing here. I'm just adapting into the new, what would basically be what might be the new norm as it is. So live streaming may potentially be the new norm for society. Who knows? Yeah. For those of you who are from the United States or Europe or anywhere else in the world, how's the pandemic going on just on your side? Because I know that a lot of the countries have been claiming that New Zealand is leading the way in terms of just been leading the way in terms of the pandemic. But you got South Korea as well, and South Korea have been doing a phenomenal job with managing, because they were basically prepared more than anyone else in the world. So yeah, just very interesting stuff. I know with my relatives in the States, I've been saying it's kind of going sideways, and been getting some serious ups and downs there. So oh dear, this part here is going to be tricky as well, because the looks like the alignment's different. So far I've got one person viewing at the moment, and just checking on notifications. So okay, yeah, that's all good. Yeah. I do hope with the especially with the music community, it's like I'm just hoping that um, a lot of the music students and businesses would be able to start getting back into the flow of things, whether it be performing back in some restaurants, bars, or even if they want start exploring into the live streaming as well. So that's generally what I'm looking into as well. I've actually been looking into getting equipment just for live streaming as well. So I'm also developing in that area. Hence why I'm live streaming this as well. So yeah. Doo-doo-doo. If you're wondering why I'm doing this, it's actually because one of my previous co-workers, Noemi, who works at the Birdwood, she basically suggested I should do this during my quarantine, and it's actually a really good idea. Like it's one of those things where it's just like, well, should I? Why not? I will give it a shot. So here comes another tricky part, the shadows again, because shadows are always going to be the problem here, as well as that the little details, because can't really tell where everything meets up, and everything is just changing in exposure and alignments. And it's ridiculous, really. It's like, what? Because I try to make sure I was thoroughly aligned, but it doesn't look like I've been adequate there. So I have to go back and just carefully rearrange all the tones and all the areas here, which is silly. It's a very, very silly sort of situation this has been. But this is all part of the fun of Photoshop as well. You just don't, sometimes you just can't fully anticipate when images would come in or how an image is going to come out. So you just have to work around it. So just going to check on the comments. Any more comments? Okay, so far no new comments. Just we got 2 views still, which is a-okay. So yeah. What in the world's going on here? Oh, crap. Hold up. Did not want to get that one, and did not want to erase that part. There we go. I gotta say, the amount of detail I put into this is just ridiculous. So, so I want to try and get as detailed as possible, and then something like this happens, and it's just like, damn it. So this is just, yeah, so triggering. Because I really want to be very detailed in it, so try and make it nicely aligned. It's very presentable as well. I actually went out of my way to just fully clean up the carpet and the rug, so that way it looks nice and tidy, and carefully stepped like cross through to try and take the images and stuff. So now it's just like, it's just slightly off just by a patch, and I have no idea why. I'm wondering if it's just because I set the camera on my camera and tripod onto the nearby sofa. So I wonder if the sofa may have just moved a little bit or something, which just a bit of a trigger kind of moment. So I'm just going to check on comments again or any views. So far I've got 1 view. And just to show you guys how the image looks thus far, just going to go into here and just fit the screen out. So this is what I'm currently doing, which when you look at it from here, it doesn't look too bad, but I just want to get more the details out. But I've also got some other ones as well. So I've got me vacuuming over here, me passed out on booze, me playing Xbox, me working out, and me reading a book. So that's kind of what I'm doing today, just wanting to merge all the images into one, but I also want to make sure it's all thoroughly detailed. So like over here, there's still a bit of the hand slightly showing. It doesn't look too bad so far, which is what I'm really happy about. It looks really good on paper, but if I were to print this out, then you'll definitely start picking up more detail in it. So obviously I won't be printing this image out just because I know it's because if I print it out, it's going to be, you'll really see the editing and stuff, which would make it look more fake. So that's something you end up learning about Photoshop as well. Just start learning about the details, and when an image is fake, And even right here, you can just see, just by removing the image, you can see the shadow there. Like there's no shadows whatsoever, but when I bring it back in, you can actually see the shadows. So you don't really want to be erasing stuff like shadows too much. Otherwise, you'll end up ruining it. And it looks like over here, it's just slightly, just seems slightly off. So I'm just going to carefully go back into this image here specifically and just start removing that detail there. So it just looks a little bit more presentable. Me vacuuming over here, it doesn't look too bad. I could always crop in as well, try and remove my phone and maybe remove the sofa right there, but I'm not overly fussed about it. It's just more doing all, just trying to make it look nice and aligned. Just also like to just make a nice little shout out to Noemi, who actually suggested I do this. So, or at least like just gave me the idea, that is. So shout out to her. So and just to point it out there, I'm just gonna see if I could open up, just bear with me for a moment as I go on to Birdwood, just to make a nice little supporting segue, just for some of the, just to help support the local community. Here we go. So I'm just gonna go into OBS and just gonna open up in here. There we go. Yeah, so just a nice little segue right here. So if you ever feel like grabbing a pizza, or if you're looking for a coffee or anything, do check out the Birdwood Eatery based in Beckenham. Fortunately, Nick and Sarah have been able, they're now able to reopen as stated right in here. And they've been working on their pizzeria for a long time, and they've done a phenomenal job. So if you ever want to try out some high quality pizzas, or you want to grab a coffee, or even try out some of their other side dishes, like definitely go and check them out. Like they are a phenomenal restaurant. So I highly recommend them if you, especially if you want to get a nice tasty pizza, or even just grab a coffee with friends and family. So I do recommend that. Now, just coming back into the, now I'm just coming back into Photoshop. So now I'm just going to carefully erase around here. So I'm just going to carefully go around where just the light toned shadow is, just in here, and just erase it carefully. Because I'm happy with the rest of it. Just want to make sure it doesn't look too over the top. Yeah, so it's a very gentle tone, a very gentle adjustment. It gets very tricky at this point because you just don't want to accidentally overlaps the tones. So I'm just gonna gently do that. Yeah, but I've also been thinking in the near future, since we are moving back into level 2, just carefully looking through just some investment plans and ideas, especially since I've been getting used to these live streamings for clients. I'm also thinking about investing in tools for live streaming. So, and funny thing enough is, even when we were all in lockdown, I've been looking at Canon's G7X Mark III, which so far from what I've noticed, it's one of the only few compact point and shoot cameras that can offer live streaming. But unfortunately, the camera isn't the best, it seems. So it's a bit of a mix, because you could still purchase their the Mark II for half price, if I remember. Yeah, for like $800 or something. But the new one they're charging like $1,300 for, and the autofocus doesn't work well, and 4K video as well as the super slow motion at full HD is just overheats quickly, which is very bad. Like if you're going to be retailing a high end camera, but especially a point and shoot, then you should have got those fixed up because that seems like a deliberate design flaw, which it's kind of off putting, really, because I do like the fact that Canon also introduced the dedicated microphone input. So for someone like myself, I'd be more than keen to use it for live streaming and just connecting it to my microphone that I'm using right now, which is the Zoom H1N audio recorder. Yeah, so it's just really stupid. Why would yeah? But again, it's just I guess that's just how some manufacturers make their money anyway. They try to make you decide to go with their higher end stuff or go with the more crappier stuff anyway. But it's just a bit disappointing that they did that. So just gonna check on comments as well. So if I've got three people viewing now, that's good. So I've got three people viewing the video now, which is good. So just to show you guys what I've been doing. So I was doing a live stream earlier today, but so today I've been working on basically merging all these images I've taken of myself, just in various positions and doing various things, into one photo. And now what I'm doing is just carefully erasing some of the shadow patterns, especially with this image here. Just a little bit annoyed because you could still see it right there, like it's still sticking out. So I could try and adjust the lighting there. So maybe just give it a lighter tone here just for erasing, but you can kind of see, you could just see the effect on what's going on here. Just want to check on comments. So therefore I've only got comments from Joe. Hopefully Sam might try and come back into the live stream again. So I've been streaming for 30 minutes again. In total, today I've actually been streaming for the past 2 hours, but I had to halt things because I had a phone call from just from a private number, but unfortunately I didn't answer that call, so I had to try and figure out who it was. But hopefully I'll find out later on, so they might try and call me back later on. But yeah, so I'm just coming back into this image specifically because, again, the shadows are still, now it just really sticks out, which I'm just not too fond with. So I'm going to try and work around it. Potentially I could try and fix it again, just try and bring it all back. I haven't actually, it's not every day I do it though, so I wonder if I can. So there might be a way, but I'm just going to check here. Okay, that kind of works. So I'll just use the brush in here and just carefully. I'm just going to close that as well because I just want to get more detail in just that area specifically, so that way I still bring back the shadow. So there we are. Hopefully that looks a bit more present there. That looks beautiful. That's just what I'm also just going to double check, make sure it doesn't affect it. Doesn't look like it does. That's good. It's always a challenge about these. If you decide to start using the brush tool or any other tool as well, because it might end up screwing up the image as well. So I'm just being extra careful about it. But I'm hoping this might come out decent. Yeah, because you can definitely see right there, just the shadows just came out of nowhere. Oh man, I'm already hungry as well, which is very much hungry as well because, well, I haven't eaten all day, and previous day, not last night, but the day before, Tuesday night, I had some chicken that wasn't thoroughly cooked as well, so it just tasted awful. Um, so my body was just trying to get through that. But now it should be a bit better now. So because I'm already hungry as well, so that's good. Just want to check on. So far, just got 2 people viewing the live stream, which is good, and I'm just going to check on the image again just to see how it looks. So I'm hoping that's zoomed in. So hopefully that time. Okay, this time it doesn't look half bad, which is it looks a bit more. It looks a little bit better if you ask me. I'm just looking at it like this, and if I zoom in, um, yeah, this is where you start picking up more detail and stuff. So that's kind of what's bothering me. So I'm just slightly bothered by that. But I'm going to see if I can maybe. I'm just wondering. There's a likely chance that if I can, could I? If I were to go back into each image and then try and choose this one, that's that one. So if I go onto this image and then maybe if I were to move things around just to try and align things, because maybe that's the other factor right there, is just to make sure everything is nicely realigned. So you got the bike wheel right there, which this is that's actually my roommate's bike, so he just leaves it in the living room. But it's just checking, making sure it's all properly lined up, and just want to zoom in again because overall, that's actually one of the images that's going to be, for me, it would be more the trigger one because it's just parts of it still don't stand out, which is what's going to bug me most. And it looks like it. So some of it still doesn't stand. Part of me is still going to be bothered by that. Probably after the process, I'll just carefully, well, when I go into the processing stage, I'm just going to save it as a low res JPEG, perhaps, just because if I put it in high res, you'll definitely notice more of that. So I might give that a try. So, especially since I've been live streaming for the past nearly 2 hours now. So, and I'll probably start looking at making dinner soon. So I'm just gonna do that. So I'm gonna go on to come back to here. I just will also set the, hold up. There we are. So I'm just gonna go into save as, just onto the file up here, save as, and then I'll just open up the file that's up. So just bear with me for a moment and see if I can find it in here. Save as, there we are. So just gonna bring that back up a little bit. Yeah, so now it's just showing where I'm actually saving the file, and just gonna give it a name, and I'll convert it in. Make sure I convert it in a JPEG, but I want it to be a low res JPEG. That's the only thing. So let's just go into JPEG there. Now, actually, I might cancel that for a moment. So cancel, and I might actually do an export. So come back to here again. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'll go on to, can I export? Yep. So export as a, so I go to export as, just in the file. Hopefully that will open up here, and then I'm just going to bring it up. So just coming into export as, or that's layer mask, that's not it. Export as. Just going to carefully go through the live streaming system, so that way it might show what's going on, or at least what I'm doing. Doesn't look like it is. That's going to be annoying. Okay. That's a bit annoying. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, so I've got export as, but it's not showing. Unfortunately, it's not showing up with anything at this stage, just on OBS, which is a bit disappointing. So I'll just close that off in OBS, and I'll just go onto here, and I'll just describe what it's showing. So the export as is showing the preview of the image that I've taken, and it looks like some of it's still slightly off. It looks. So I might need to carefully align the original image, or at least let's just zoom in for a moment, because I want to carefully look at all of it in detail. It looks like some of it may be partially off according to the export, so I'm just going to cancel that for a moment. Oh crap, that's not it. That's not canceling, that's saving. So cancel. I just want to double check, make sure everything is properly lined up as well, because that's important. Make sure everything is fully lined up together, much like the backgrounds. And it looks like it should be, because it shows right there as well. So, okay, just going to check on comments, any comments or any views. So I've only got one person viewing at the moment. So, right, so just coming back here. So I'm going to go on to, as I just said before, export as. So you just click on file, and it should come up with export as, and you can also press the Alt, Shift, Control, and W key, and it will also give you into the export as. Unfortunately, it's not, the OBS won't be able to show what the export is showing, which is very, very disappointing as it is. Size is going to be about, more than happy for it to be a 1. So it's also showing image size, the format, which is JPEG, quality at 100. I might try and tone down the quality. So I'm thinking, just so it's not over the top detail, because I want it to be like a standard. So I might go with the quality being 70%, just because, just to briefly check it out. So hopefully, well, it's only going to go at 69, so that's probably the best I could do with it. Yeah, and hopefully when I go on to export now, so if I hit the export here, I'm going to check on OBS once again, and there we go. It's actually showing I believe. I might double check it. So let's export as, export. There we are. So it's showing the, so now it's just showing it. So, and of course it's with, just from the export, it's showing the file name, and I'm just going to call it, what should I call it? How about I call it 5 days of quarantine or something like that, just, or the 5, that's hashtag, sorry, that's percentage. The 5 stages of quarantine. There we go. So hopefully that's how you spell quarantine. One of those words that you hear a lot of, and you should already know the word by now, but it's just like, crap. So I have the 5 stages of quarantine, and then if I click on to save, and then now it's exporting, and now I'm just going to come back to here, and I just want to do it. So just bear with me for a moment as I open up my folder, and I'm going to be going onto the file I actually saved it on, and just check on photo merge, and I'm just going to open it up on here. So yeah, if I go into photo merge, yep, so there's the file, and you can just see, I'm just going to bring just the OBS book and make it look nice and presentable. Here we are. So now you can actually see the image right here, and I just want to click onto that just to look at it in more detail. And let's go back down to here, and just on OBS at the moment. And if I go into photos, here we are. So now there's the image that I've just exported as a low-res JPEG at 70%, and just going to do a bit of a zoom in just to check on, yeah, because you could still see even with the export, if you look, especially if you look more into detail, some of it's still a bit lazy right there. So I've been a bit lazy with the editing, but when you look at it at a distance, and I'm only going to post this on social media anyway, so it's not too bad for just for social media like Facebook or Instagram or stuff like that, because I'm not going to use it for competitions or anything. Just very simple, very, very simple little setup right there. Right. Just checking on the things. Okay, just the OBS was showing some funny colors and stuff. Right, so I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream I've just done here. Yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy it. And potentially I'll upload both the previous video and this video into one and just post it up on my YouTube potentially. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed basically the tutorial about merging images into one. Yeah, and yeah, thank you guys for viewing, and I will see you guys in the next video.